Hello everyone, this is Cybertronian Beast, and let's talk Transformers. Today we're taking a look at one of my favorite characters and figures of all time. This is Predaking. The Generation 1 figure that came out approximately 1986 is made up of 5 very large sized figures. That's why he's so much bigger than all of the other combiners. But he's a very, very good figure. And hence one of the greatest figures ever produced, in my opinion. Predaking as a character made his first appearance in Transformers comic number 25, Megatron's Last Stand. All 5 Predakings obviously appeared in there first, and then near the end of the book they all merged into Predaking and proceeded to kick Megatron's ass. It was quite a good story. I suggest picking it up. Predaking as a character did not appear in the show until Season 3, post-movie, which makes the comics so interesting. In the comic, he's fighting Megatron, and in the show, Megatron wasn't around. So it's quite interesting. One of the reasons I love this figure so much is because there's a third-party add-on set for it by a company called CrazyDevy, and they produce a whole bunch of stuff. And yeah, it's expensive, but it's very, very good quality. And through the course of these videos, I will be showing you how to install them and make your Predaking an unbelievable figure. Truly unbelievable. Also extremely expensive, but truly unbelievable. Anyway, let's get down to it. I'm going to disassemble Predaking, and we will take a look at each individual Predacon. Alright, and we're back. Now here they all are, transformed into their robot modes. We've got Headstrong on the far left, Rampage next to him. In the middle we've got Razor Claw, Dive Bomb, and on the far right we've got Tantrum. I think I've done pretty well with obtaining most of their weapons. All 5 of them have swords. Only Tantrum is the one with guns, although Razor Claw has his gun, which also doubles as Predaking's gun. I am missing the guns for the other 3 though. It's funny, each of them do have 2 guns which are identical. It's an interesting little quirk. These guys are large. They're very big figures. Here's a comparison. I'm going to bring in Generations Cup, which I recently reviewed. Throw him in the middle there. And he's actually shorter. He's shorter than all 5 of these Generation 1 figures. And that's something to consider, because all 5 of these guys combine right into a giant gestalt figure, Predaking, and that makes for one very, very large figure. So get him out of there. And it's interesting to remember that with this being a G1 figure, you need to compare it to the G1 figures of the time that combined. You've got Menasor, which were the Predacons. This is Dead End, so you can compare him to the Predakings or the Predacons, and he's just tiny. And you can throw Mixmaster from the Constructicons in there. Mine's a G2, but doesn't matter, same size. And he's also extremely small compared to the Predacons. These guys were just huge, huge for the time. The biggest combiner set scale-wise of its time. It makes you think that this new combiner set for the video game Fall of Cybertron Bruticus, if it's going to be made up of deluxe size figures, it's going to be fairly large. Anyway, let's get down to some of these individual figures. Let's start on the far left with Headstrong. Now please remember, these are G1 figures. There's not a lot of articulation to them. There's not much engineering in them. They really just did what they had to make them look like the figures in the show or the comics, and it was very minimal. So I'll get rid of his weapon. First thing we do is we fold in his arms. It was a neat little ratchet joint in there. There we go. And his alt mode legs just jammed right into his body cavity there, and they are a pain to get out. There's one. And we'll work on the second. There it is. Okay, so those are out. You can fold his head down in between his legs there. Lower. You can leave his head up. It doesn't matter. His head really just does move. There's not. You can leave it wherever you want, really. I like to leave it at the top. For his back legs, they fold out of his robot legs. So there's one, there's two, and just swivel these things down and push that in. There you go. And you're done. That's Headstrong. But Headstrong does get, because he's a foot, he does get the foot plate for Predaking as a cannon piece. There you go. That looks pretty badass. Moving on. We'll go to Rampage. Remove his weapon. And he's got a little bit of a phallus symbol here. But we won't talk about that. Anyway, fold his head back. Move his panther head up. Push his fists in. Tilt those back. Push them in. Panther legs out. Tilt the feet so you can stand. You're going to twist. 180. You're going to push his robot feet into the cavity and twist his legs upwards and bring his, oh, did I do that backwards? I did. So we'll pull those out and twist it around 180 again. So it was facing the right way the entire time. Twist that around. So I did that a little fast, and now we can pull out the tail. There's the tail. It's in no way resembles a penis because it's a tail. And he's done. Oh, and I should mention, his mouth does open. See? Cool. Go to Headstrong here. Remove the sword. Take his weapon, which, like I said, is Predaking's weapon. We'll push in his fists. These arms for Razor Claw and for Rampage are tiny. Like, that is a tiny little arm. Push those in. We will tilt the head back. Bring the entire lion head up. Swivel it around. Bring the lion feet down. Bring his feet in like we did on Rampage. And the same type of transformation on his legs. And we're going to bring his hind feet out. And then we're just going to straighten that out so that he can stand on them. And he also has a tail, so you can bring that out too. And his mouth opens as well. Dive Bomb. Dive Bomb is definitely one of the cooler looking figures in my opinion, with the wings and all. Remove the weapon. Push in the arms. The arms for Dive Bomb definitely are the most to scale of any of the figures. It doesn't want to go in. Let's go. Go in. There we go. Tilt back. Push into the body cavity. We are going to bend the legs back on themselves. Tilt the tail down. He has little bird feet that you pop out. See him there? Okay, and there's that. You can spread the wings out. And you can open his mouth as well. And he is now done. He's a fairly easy transformation as well. They're all easy. I mean, G1, come on. And last but not least, we are looking at Tantrum. Remove the weapon. Come on, there we go. And like I said, he's got two guns here. No big deal. He's got this little flip plate here. I don't really know what it's for. Doesn't matter. You flip it down to make a flat surface there. His arms fold in on themselves. And these joints are very tight. I'm very worried about breaking them at some point. But they go in like that. And they look good. Okay. You've got these little feet. You just fold them in. And you also want to get the alt mode feet out. These ones are a little bit, there we go, a little bit more difficult. There we go. Now you can push that back in. And you want to spin his head around. Okay. There we go. And up. Perfect. And he does not have a tail. No. But he does get a cannon because he's a foot. So there we go. He has a big old cannon. And there we go. There are all 5 Predacons transformed into their alt modes. Like I said, keep in mind these are all G1 figures, early 80s, or mid 80s I should say. There's not a lot of engineering in these figures. So you can't compare them to current figures. They were great at the time. They're still great, but you can't by any means expect current technology or current engineering in them. In my next video, we make Predaking.